Hey, this is Scott Dinger, the duck blind moderator. I'm going to share with you my recipe that I use to make goose pastrami. It's a variation on the meat eater recipe, and it tastes better. It's a little more jerky-like. It's a dry pastrami, but it's delicious with mustard on a cracker when you're sitting in the blind. So we got some Canada goose breasts. This is what they look like when I breast them out during hunting season and then freeze them. And this is how I want you to trim them up. Kind of square them up. Get all the membrane off, that wing vein, get that out of there. And so you end up with just kind of a 1.5 to 2 inch thick by 6 inch piece of meat. Kind of keep it square. So you want to go from a basic piece of breast to one that's all trimmed up. And I highly recommend, if you got dogs, just feed that to them dogs. We use 1 tablespoon per pound of Tender Quick home meat cure, which is basically just a really super fine salt. But you want to use it if you can, because it does the trick in getting the meat cured up in a timely manner. This is the secret ingredient. This is pickling spice, but I run it through a coffee grinder and get it to where it's kind of a sandy, powdery, almost a powdery consistency. And so that's where we're at right now. So I've got it ready. I'm going to finish getting everything prepped, and then I'll come back and show you the next step. Okay, so we got just probably right around 4 pounds of meat, maybe a little more. And this is how I want you to get your goose breasts. Get them all trimmed up. Get as much of the membrane you can. Get those big veins out of there. But you want an even height. So see how they're all kind of the same height? This will help make sure that you're consistent with the cure. That's the key, I guess, for me. So you got all your trimmings. Make sure you save them for your dogs. Morton Tender Quick, 1 tablespoon per pound. And then this is just pickling spice. It's got coriander, bay leaf, mustard seed, dill. It's all together, and then it's all in seed form, in dry leaf form, and then I run it through a coffee grinder. And like I said, I get it to the consistency of almost a powder. And that's what we're going to put on the meat after we put the salt on. Here's my first tablespoon of pickling salt, or Tender Quick meat cure. And just it don't have to be all over the meat, because it spreads as it soaks in. So that's a tablespoon. You can see it covers kind of 1/2 of 2 pounds. Okay, here's what it looks like all salted up with the Tender Quick meat cure. Get all sides. You'll see that it kind of starts drying out already. It's pretty impressive. But you want to kind of get down in those little natural muscle creases. Don't be afraid to kind of pat it in. It won't hurt it, because you're going to rinse it off prior to cooking it to make the pastrami. So I don't worry too much. I don't really think, I suppose you could salt it too much, but again, I'm just going by what works for me and what I think you guys are really going to like. So, got it all salted up. Now we're going to take what adds the flavor, and it's just powdery form, and I just get real liberal with it. Just get it on there heavy, and then once it's on there, we'll do both sides and all the little creases and pat it down. This spice has a unique smell. Since it isn't quite cooked yet, but it definitely is will take you to the kind of a pastrami kind of flavor. You'll start smelling it. Get both sides, and we'll go to the next step when I come back. Okay, we're all spiced up, both sides. Now all I'm going to do is put this in a vacuum bag, freezer vacuum bag, and I'm going to put it in my refrigerator for 10 days. You don't have to flip it. Just put it in anywhere in your fridge for 10 days once you have it in a vacuum seal. I'll see you in 10 days. This is what it looks like when it's vacuum sealed. Throw it in the fridge for 10 days. Do not turn it. It is not necessary. Like I said, I'll see you in 10 days. So layered it in the crock pot, and I'll turn it on high for about 2 hours, and it'll be ready to eat.